Perfect. Okay. So let's get started with the demo session, guys, without any further ado. A quick formal introduction before that. My name is Mohammed Shoaib. I'm a cybersecurity trainer certified from EC Council, and I teach courses such as Certified Ethical Hacking, Web Application Pen Testing, and Security Operations Center, SOC analysis. Okay. And our demo today is on the first basic foundational course called Certified Ethical Hacking version 11. This is the course that is taken up by people who are planning on joining into the cybersecurity domain, who want to get their career started in cybersecurity. Okay, so before I get started, this is a common question that I usually ask the students just to understand their perspective. And guys, I am not asking any definitive answers or anything. Whatever comes to your mind, can you answer, like, or can you tell me in your perspective, what do you think hacking is? Okay, again, let's keep this a bit interactive and fun rather than just keeping this one-sided. So, excuse me, Ani or Vaishnavi, anyone can answer. According to you, in your terms, what do you think hacking is?
Sure, I can start. So hacking has been in the news for a while now. My understanding of it is taking ownership of other person's data through getting into their computer or any technology device that they own. It could happen by maybe cracking their password, so stealing personal data to gain advantage, basically. That's my understanding.
That's a great answer, Annie. There's nothing wrong with it, and it's a perfectly right answer. Okay, so that's a really good answer, Annie. So just building up on your words, if I had to just define it out, okay, using your same words, hacking is nothing but the procedure of trying to gain access to information systems. Okay, just like you have told me that getting access to these devices. So these information systems could be anything. It could be as small as a mobile phone to as big as a web application server or a database. Okay, and you're trying to gain access to them without the permission or the consent of the person owning those systems. Okay, and this is usually performed by the hacker for their own benefit. Once they get access to the data, they can steal the data or destroy the data or just sell that data on the dark web, okay, for their financial benefit. Now, if hacking seems such a malicious job, such a criminalistic task, why do we have a course called ethical hacking? Is the main question. Because ethical is something which is completely legal, which is completely allowed. Okay, so these two terms, ethical and hacking itself, coming in one sentence is very contradictory. So why do we have a course called ethical hacking is the second question. So to define it out, ethical hacking on the other hand is nothing but trying to find the vulnerabilities. Okay, a vulnerability is nothing but a loophole, a flaw or a weakness in the information system, and a hacker tries to find the same flaws and tries to exploit them. So your job as an ethical hacker would be to try to find these loopholes in the information systems with the permission, with the consent and the knowledge of the organization before the hacker does. Okay, so and once you find these vulnerabilities, by working hand in hand with the organization, you try to report them back, so that once it is reported back, the organization is going to apply the appropriate patches for it. Once a patch is applied, the vulnerability is closed, and that completely stops or closes the doorway for the hacker to cause any harm. So thereby, with ethical hacking, you're trying to increase the security of the organization rather than causing any harm. So I hope these two definitions are clear, Ani and Vaishnavi. Hello?
Yes.
Perfect. Now, depending on these two definitions, guys, we can categorize the various types of hackers as well. So basically, when we talk about hackers, there's three types of hackers. There's someone known as a black hat hacker, there's someone known as a gray hat hacker, and then finally there's someone known as a white hat hacker. Okay, a black hat hacker, who is also known as a cyber criminal, is someone who performs hacking for his own benefit. Okay, so he does this without asking for consent and just to harm the other organization systems. On the other hand, you have the white hat hacker on the other end, and these people are also known as the ethical hackers or penetration testers. Ethical hacker is someone who performs the penetration testing with the permission of the organization by abiding by the laws and policies of it, okay, just to increase the security. Okay, and in between there's another person, kind of a gray hat hacker. This guy has both the qualities of black hat as well as white hat hacker, hence the name gray hat. And these people are also known as bug bounty hunters. Okay, so these people don't ask for permission like a black hat hacker before performing pen testing, but once they find any vulnerability like a white hat hacker, they report it back. Okay, but obviously they won't do it for free. They do it for something known as a bounty. A bounty is nothing but a reward for finding that vulnerability and reporting it to the organization. Now that could be a money reward or reputational reward, anything which benefits them. Okay. Now any kind of a hacker, whether that be a black hat hacker or a gray hat hacker or a white hat hacker, performs hacking or ethical hacking in a set of procedures. And these set of procedures in which, again, these steps which are followed to get the complete access to the device are known as hacking cycle or cyber kill chain. Okay. Again, various organizations categorize these steps into various numbers, but to summarize it up, there are 5 important steps of hacking or ethical hacking. First step is known as information gathering. It can also be called as reconnaissance or footprinting. Second step is known as scanning. It can also be called as enumeration. Third step is known as gaining access. Fourth step is maintaining access. And the last step is reporting or clearing traces. The reason I've specifically mentioned "or" over here in the last step in capitals is because that is where it makes all the difference between a black hat hacker and a white hat hacker. If you are a white hat hacker, you try to report all the steps taken and the vulnerabilities found back to the organization. But if you're a black hat hacker, obviously you're not going to report it, but you're going to be very silent and you're going to try to remove all the evidences of the attack, which is nothing but clearing traces. So these are the 5 steps that are followed. Now let's briefly discuss each of these steps one by one, so you have a clear picture of what we're going to be discussing in the course. Okay. Any questions or doubts up to this part, guys? Again, I forgot to mention this. If you have any questions or queries, please feel free to interrupt me at any certain point and ask me your questions. So any doubts or questions up to this point, Annie or Vaishnavi?
I have a general question. Are we going to be doing labs for this class?
Yeah, definitely. Again, the whole course is designed in such a way, Annie, that it is 80% practical and 20% theoretical. So we definitely have a lab setup, our own lab setup in our. So I'll be sharing all the tools with you to install the operating systems and the tools on your local machine, which you can perform your practicals on. So if you notice over here, this is my Kali operating system, the Linux-based operating system, which comes pre-installed with all the penetration testing tools. Okay. Along with that, now this is the attacker machine, and we have a few victim machines as well. So this is my whole lab setup, which I have installed in a VMware application. Okay, so the same lab setup which I have on my machine will be replicated on yours as well, on which you can practice everything, all the concepts in a very real-time scenario, practical way.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Now, proceeding further, 1 second. Proceeding further. Now let's understand each of these steps one by one, so we have a better picture of what topics are we going to be discussing in the course. So the first topic, as I've mentioned, is information gathering, and the main objective of it is to, as the name itself suggests, information gathering is nothing but trying to gather as much information as possible about the target passively. What I mean by passively is that you try to gain information from the internet, from other third-party sources on the internet, rather than contacting your target or organization. So the information that we try to gain is as follows. So we try to get all this information from the internet about the organization. So we try to get IP addresses, the who's records, their DNS record, employee details such as their contact numbers or email addresses, or their fax numbers or usernames and passwords, domain names and subdomains, whatnot. Okay, so all this information is very relevant for a hacker or an ethical hacker to proceed further, to find the loopholes, or to find the attack vectors that could be used to attack the target system. Okay, if I show you a very basic example, if I wanted to find the email addresses for any organization, I could just go to my browser, and in the browser I can search for a website called hunter.io. Now this is this is an email finder. This is a website which can give you the email addresses of the employees of any organization. So for example, if I search for walmart.com, so in Walmart, whoever works or whoever employees are working for Walmart, I get all their email addresses, their personal emails, as you can see. If I search for tesla.com, and now with this I can find the email addresses of the working employees of Tesla. So now these emails can be used by hackers or ethical hackers to perform phishing attacks, to get their credentials, to get the usernames and passwords. Okay, so again, as I've mentioned, now Tesla or Walmart has no clue that someone is trying to get this information about them. Okay, this is gained from a third-party source, from a altogether different website, and this website gets its information from various sources. As you can see, it mentions where it got that email from. Okay, So like this, trying to get all this information from other websites about an organization is what information gathering all revolves around. Okay, is what it consists of. Once you get this all information, then you go with the next phase, which is scanning. Okay, now scanning is an advanced phase. You try to perform this in order to get some extra information which you could not get in the information gathering phase. Okay, so in scanning, the main difference is you try to make active connections. In information gathering, we got the information passively from other third-party sources, but in scanning, we try to get the information directly from the target itself. So we send some packets to the target server, and in response to those packets, we get some extra juicy information. Okay, now this is the categories of scanning again. So when we talk about scanning, there's three categories. There's something called as network scanning, and there's something called as port scanning, and finally there's something called as vulnerability scanning. In network scanning, we can try to figure out on the target network what all devices or what all servers are active. On those devices, you perform port scanning to figure out on those servers or on those devices what ports are open and what services are running. Okay, once you find the services running, finally you try to find the vulnerabilities by performing vulnerability scanning. Now this is the same thing or the same technique that is used in organizations as well to find the weaknesses in their own infrastructure. So once you know all the ports and services running, you try to figure out what services have what kind of vulnerabilities using the vulnerability scanning tools. So this is known as automated testing. So for this we have a tool called Nessus. So this is the same tool that is used in organizations as well, as you can see. Okay, and we are going to be using the same tool in our lab setup. So I already have this is loaded. Let me show you how it looks like. Just to show you, this is how the Nessus panel looks like. Okay, and this is the same tool that you work on in organizations as well if you work for a company. So once you go to policies and once you go on scan templates, these are the techniques that you can use to perform advanced scan to find the vulnerabilities in a local network. Okay, just showing you this so that you have a clear picture of whatever practicals will be doing in the classes. They are completely real-time scenario based with the tools that are used in organizations. Okay, after scanning is done, then we go to the next phase, which is gaining access. Now this is a very huge concept, covers a vast variety of topics, and these are as follows. So the first thing that we're going to be learning is system hacking, where I'll show you how hackers try to crack or bypass Windows operating system password. So if you have Windows 7, 8, 10 or Windows 11, doesn't matter. How do hackers crack those passwords and get access to the internal files is what we learn in system hacking. Again, once we know the attack methods, we'll also learn the defense techniques. How do you defend your system from these kinds of attacks? Okay. Then we have malware attacks. Malware is nothing but malicious softwares, and there's tons and tons of malwares on the internet. So we'll practically learn the most important malwares and how are they developed and how do you prevent your system from getting attacked by malwares. Okay. Then there's another bonus concept called malwares advanced, where we learn how we can write our own malwares using Python programming. Again, you don't need to learn Python programming or any coding language from anywhere else. Whatever is required for it, it is already mentioned in the course, or we already teach that in the course itself. Okay, then there's network penetration testing, where we learn what are the common network attacks. So if you have a hacker in your network, what harm can he cause to you on your device is what we learn in that. So there's attacks like sniffing attack, man in the middle attack, denial of service attack, and hacking Wi-Fi routers and cracking their passwords. All this come under network penetration testing. So hackers can capture your usernames and passwords once they are in your network. How that is done and how do you prevent that is what we learn in network pen testing. Then comes social engineering, where we learn how hackers can create fake login pages, fake replica websites like Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, fake websites, and how they send these fake websites to victims and get their passwords is what we learn. So those are basically phishing attacks. So we basically understand how to perform phishing attacks and how to protect ourselves from these phishing attacks. Then comes web application pen testing, where we learn all the common website vulnerabilities. So how do hackers hack websites, or how do they try to get the usernames and passwords from the databases of websites? So we learn in that what are the different weaknesses that websites would have, and how do you detect those weaknesses, and how do you prevent the system or prevent the website from having those weaknesses. Okay. Then comes vulnerability assessment, where we're using a very important tool called Metasploit framework. That is a tool that is used in organizations as well to perform manual assessment, to perform manual testing and checking for weaknesses in a system. Then finally comes hacking mobile phones, where we try to attack an Android phone or using a malware and try to get a remote connection. So again, it's a very comprehensive course where you're covering all the components of a network. So you're covering Windows operating systems, Linux operating systems, any networking device, any website, or any Android phone, mobile phone. It's a very comprehensive course including all the endpoints. Okay. Once gaining access is done, Then we perform maintaining access to show you how hackers can maintain persistent connections. What I mean by persistent connections is that even if you restart your system or shut it down and start it up after a very long time, how do hackers maintain connection to your system is what we'll learn in maintaining access. Then finally comes the reporting or clearing traces, where we'll see how to generate a report or how to remove all the evidences. Okay, and since not everyone could be from a technical background, we also have a few prerequisites to cover. Okay, so in all the prerequisites required for the course are included in the course itself. So basically, before we dive into these advanced concepts, we'll learn about virtualization, which is nothing but setting up our whole lab environment for our practicals. Then we learn about networking concepts like what are IP addresses, what are IPv4, IPv6 addresses, what is a DNS protocol, what is a DHCP protocol, all those important networking concepts. Then we learn basic Linux and Windows commands, and then we'll dive into the advanced concepts of the course. Okay, so the whole course, again, as I've mentioned, guys, is designed in such a way that it's like a 40-20 ratio. So in 1 hour, the first 40 minutes, the first 20 minutes, we're going to discuss the theoretical part, and the rest 40 minutes, we're going to be discussing everything practically. Okay, so it is more of a practically lab environment focused course. Okay, so you're going to be learning concepts in a very practical fashion rather than going through boring theoretical concepts. Okay, and again, the course is for 1 month, guys, where you'll have a class from Monday to Friday every day for 1 hour at the same time. And again, this course also includes all the tools, all the recordings and everything included in the course price. So the course is priced at 8,000 rupees INR in Indian currency. Okay, so again, if you're planning on starting the course, guys, you can contact the institute and they will let you know when the batch is going to start. Again, I'll be taking a couple more demos tomorrow and after tomorrow as well. So we should be starting the class by Friday, the first class of networking concepts, basic introductory concepts. So yeah, if you have any questions, you can let me know, guys. Any questions, Annie or Vaishnavi?
Yes, may we have your email address?
Oh yeah, sure. My email is mentioned over here itself, Annie, as you can see. This is my contact number. If you have any queries regarding any technical query regarding these concepts, you can let me know. You can ping me on WhatsApp, or if you have any queries to ask on email, this is the email address. Any other questions, guys, for anyone else? Vaishnavi, any questions?
Sir, we have any recorded classes, sir?
Yeah, Vaishnavi, all the classes are recorded. As I've mentioned, every single class that we take will be recorded and uploaded to the Google Drive. So just in case if you're missing out any session, if you're absent for any session, we can go through the recordings as well. All the classes are recorded and uploaded to the Google Drive, which you can access once you start the course. Okay, and you'll have the access to the recordings as well. Okay, so all the materials. Yeah. At the same time, Vaishnavi, sorry, please go ahead.
At the same time, we have to listen that much time, sir. So that's why.
Yeah, sure, Vaishnavi. As I've mentioned, we will have live sessions, and after the live session is done, that session will be recorded and uploaded to the Google Drive. So just in case if you're not able to attend that session, you can go through the recordings as well. So all the materials, all the soft copy of the books, all the tools, all the recordings, everything is included in the course price itself. Okay. And you'll also have my personal number.
In
If you have
YouTube,
any,
not sir.
sorry.
In YouTube, the links are not available, sir.
In YouTube.
The recorded classes.
Sorry, I didn't get your question, Vaishnavi. Hello.
After we complete the session, we get in the YouTube, sir.
No, Vaishnavi. The course is not uploaded on YouTube. You have only the demo session on YouTube. So after the course is done, also, if you want to access the recordings, the link, Google Drive link will be sent to you, through which you can access the recordings even after the course is done, if you want to revisit the concepts. Okay. So we will be sharing a Google Drive link specifically generated for you, through which you can access the recordings later on also. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, Vaishnavi, go ahead.
yes, sir. Continue, sir.
Yeah, nothing more, Vaishnavi. As I've mentioned, guys, the course fees is at 8,000 rupees for the whole course, including all the recordings, all the materials, all the tools, and the live sessions as well. And again, I'll be starting the class from Friday. We'll be taking the first class on networking concepts. Okay. And yeah, that's that for the demo session. So if you have any questions or doubts, you can ask me. This is my personal contact number over here. If you have any technical queries, if you have any questions regarding the fees or the batch timings, please contact the DurgaSoft Institute. Okay. And if you have any other queries, you can either email me or contact me on this number. Okay. I'll forward your queries to the DurgaSoft Institute. So yeah, that's that, guys. Any questions? Vaishnavi, any questions before I end the session?
No, sir.
Okay, guys. Thank you. Any questions on your end?
No, thank you so much. I look forward to starting the class. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Andy. Thank you, Vaishnavi. Thank you for being so patient. Thank you for attending the session. I hope you liked it, and I'll see you soon in classes. Bye-bye. Have a good day.
Have a good day.
Yeah, okay, bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Vaishnavi.
Yes.